to talk to you guys. So over to you, Gerald, for an introduction, and thank you again for accepting it.
Cool, thank you, Yolette. Appreciate it. So yes, my name is Gerald Ferreira, and I would say, one of the founders or pioneers of virtual reality in South Africa. So it's something that we started already back in 1998 already. So one of the first projects that we did was basically we took an old DSLR camera that still worked with those AA batteries and a floppy disk. And we basically took that to the town of Klerksdorp, and we would shoot 360-degree videos or photos, stitch them together, similar to what Google Street View is today. And then we also mapped it on a map of Klerksdorp. So you could basically go into any street from the map, and then you could go into um, uh, businesses and stuff like that as well. So I think, if I remember correctly, we did it in 1998, and Google started doing that in 2006. So unfortunately, we didn't make the money that Google did, but yeah, it's I would say it's almost a South African idea. So virtual reality, one of the first devices is this little guy. I don't know if you guys remember this. So this is like the ViewMaster. So you would take a film, put it in here, click through here, and you would be able to see still images in 300 or 3D-scopic view. Then, so our company is, we've got several companies that falls under the virtual reality banner. So we have virtualreality.co.za, we've got mixedreality.co.za, we've got virtual reality universities, virtual reality schools. I think there's about 20 websites that we've got that is different segments of virtual reality, the industry. So um, let's start by saying you get two types of virtual reality. You get 3DOF virtual reality, and then you get 6DOF virtual reality. So 3DOF virtual reality is where you basically are in a static position, your body, but you can move your head. So you can look up, down, left, right, and stuff like that. So that is typically your 360-degree video experiences or your static experiences. Then you can also, in some experiences, use your hands or a controller, and then you can click on stuff, and that's the way that you generally move inside that experiences. So those experiences for me personally is very boring, because you can't interact with stuff. You can't go into the environment, pick up stuff, move it around, look underneath the table, and explore area fully. So, but I think there is a place in the market for those type of technologies. Usually those technologies are realistic, photorealistic. It's usually created by video cameras or DSLR cameras, and it represents the real world. So that makes it somewhat cool. And then, of course, people are working towards taking 3DOF technology and making it 6DOF, with volumetric video, where you can basically film someone in a green screen and you can move around him, and then he is placed into a 6DOF environment. So that's also a cool technology that's developing. And then I'm going to show you some of the projects that we have done in the past. But first I want to show you some of the technologies that we use. So, Nodal Ninja. So probably you guys have never seen this little device. So this was one of the first 360-degree one-shot cameras. So this will screw onto a DSLR camera, and then in the center of the lens there's like a mirror, and then when you take a photo, you will take the reflection of the room from the mirror, and that would sort of create a 360-degree photo with one shot. And then of course you could do video as well with this little gadget. Then this is one of the devices that we also use. This is the Nodal Ninja. So basically this is something that you would screw onto a tripod. Just see there. So this will go onto a tripod, and then you would put your DSLR camera here, and it would basically keep the center of the lens at the center of the tripod, and then basically you would take 360-degree images, or you can also do video this way, and you won't have that parallax effect than just taking your camera, putting it on a tripod where it's not in the lens is not in the center of the tripod. Then we also have the Insta360 Pro. So I heard from Hewlett that you guys are going to shoot the project this week or this coming week, where you're going to use one of the smaller Insta360 cameras. You know, the Insta360 Pro. And then I want to show you this little device as well. So this is something that we created back in 2012 already. This is what we did is we basically took GoPro cameras and we developed this rig. This was before there was any 360-degree commercial cameras available. So this we basically 3D printed, and what is important when we did it, so the first one we did a mistake, and we didn't put the lenses in the center, because on the camera the lenses are slightly off center. So we took the center of the camera and then we aligned the rig in such a way that that all the cameras are in the center but not the lenses. So that was actually a costly mistake, and then in one of the later versions we put the lens in the center, and now it takes, I would say, even better. This rig, although it's from 2012, it takes better photos and images than the commercial rigs that you get. So this one is the 360-degree Insta360 Pro. So it's got some aerials that you can connect to it. You can connect it to your smartphone, and then there's a far sight device which you can connect to that, and then you can basically record video from about 500 meters from where you are filming this. Okay, so that's just some of the cameras that we use, and then I want to show you some of the headsets. So give me Google Cardboard. So this is a Google Cardboard device. So this is basically you take your smartphone, put your smartphone in here, close it, and then you can look through the lenses. And with your smartphone, this is one of the cheapest virtual reality headsets that you can get. And then I'm going to show you this little guy. So this is a South Africa manufactured and developed virtual reality headset. So this is made by the Virtual Space locally in South Africa. So it's the same, you've got the lenses there, you pop on your smartphone here. What's nice about this device is that this guy, Richard, who develops this, is very passionate about the VR industry. So what he did is he made sure that the lenses are some of the best lenses that you get. And that gives you better optics, so the experience is better in a 3D OF device like this. And then this is a commercial one, so it looks nice. It's made of oops, sorry. So it's made of plastic, but in any case, so this device comes from China, but it is not that good because they made a mistake with the lenses. The optics aren't that well, and when you sell virtual reality commercial, it's important that you make sure that the gear that you use are some of the best. You don't want to give someone a bad experience or nauseating experience and stuff like that. So therefore I won't recommend this device. And then also, although it looks good, it's actually very flimsy, as you can see. So now I'm just going to get to some other devices. So basically, the name in virtual reality headsets at the moment, that would be Oculus. So Oculus, one of the first headsets they made for mobile devices was the Samsung Gear VR device. So you would take one of your Samsung smartphones, S series phones, and they would fit inside here. There was a special app just for Samsung phones, and then you could view virtual reality in this device. This was one of the first mobile high-end devices, and then this was upgraded with the Oculus Go. So I'm just going to show you the Oculus Go as well. So this is basically the Oculus Go. What changed on this device is that everything is built into this device. So where with the other devices you needed a smartphone, with this you don't need a smartphone. Everything is built in here. And then it's also got a controller. So although it's still 3DOF, you could now start using the controller, point to stuff, click on it, and have some interactivity in your experience. And then one of the first headsets that came out that was 60OF headsets that connected to a computer with a cable is the Oculus Rift headset. This is more or less what it looks like. And it uses sensors as well. So the sensors would look at your position in the experience, at the controller's position in the experience. This is what the controllers look like. And then it will sort of give you 60OF positioning, and you could have experiences where you walk in virtual reality, pick up stuff, move it around and stuff like that. So then I'm just going to show you this device as well. So this is Lena, is net vir 'n naels. Sorry. So this is one of the other devices. So this is a 60OF Oculus Quest device, and this device is also 60OF, and you don't need a computer for that, but you can also plug it into a computer, and then it becomes a high-end computer-driven device, but it's also mobile. So you can have your 3DOF, your 360 video, all those experiences on this device. And then we've also got the HTC Vive. So this is made by HTC. So this is also a high-end virtual reality headset. So you connect this to a computer, and then you can experience high-end 3DOF or 6DOF virtual reality. And then this is the last device I'm going to show you, and we haven't opened it yet, but it's quite exciting to have this. So this is the Oculus Quest 2, and it's the latest upgrade. So I think this has been released about a month ago, just maybe over a month, and it's supposed to be 2 times better than the Oculus Quest 1 device. So for us, that's quite exciting news. Cool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share some stuff with you. So this is some of the projects that we have worked on. Sorry, let me just... So this is basically software that we have developed from scratch. Now with the coronavirus, people want to meet inside virtual reality, or they want to find other ways of having the same type of meetings as you can in real life, but using different technologies like what we're doing today with this virtual conference. So basically, this is a high-end 60OF experience. It's multiplayer. People can go into the same experience, and they can interact with each other, talk to each other, and go through this exhibition on their own base, or with other people as well. So let me play that for you. this boardroom, you can basically present the same way as you would do in normal life. You've got the screen there, and then you can use your controller to play Word documents. You can do Excel sheets. You can watch videos. You can browse the internet and all that sort of things, while seeing other people, interacting with them, and so on. So the example that just played here, this is a factory virtual tour or virtual experience that we developed. So in this experience, you can actually go into the factory, and then we developed this as in 3 parts. So basically, you would have this experience, and then also it people could do training in this experience. They could see what this factory looks like, because it's sort of in a dangerous area, and because it is very dirty and unsafe to go to the factory. That's why they decided to build it in virtual reality. So I just want to jump here quickly to another technology, the Metaport technology. Just share that screen with you. So this is a 3D scanner that we also use. Metaport. So I'm just going to sign in here. And what we do a lot is we would develop high-end games and stuff like for corporate businesses. So then what we do is we need to go and film their environment, and then create the real environment in a 3D environment. So then we will use this scanner, and then basically that will make the process easier from going from here to 3D model. So let me just show you this camera quickly. So this is the actual Metaport camera. So this camera is about, let's say, 100,000 Rand, and this is it will take images, but it will also, at the same time, it's got some LiDAR in, so it will sort of create a 3D cloud map or point cloud, and you will be able to get measurements. So you don't have to go and measure something by hand. It will basically be captured in that device. So I just want to show you that factory. So if we so there's the virtual tour of that factory. So basically you can go into the factory, and in real life you can walk through the factory and see exactly what this factory looks like. So what we did is we gave them this as a solution, so they could take guests to the factory, show them some of the different machines that they are using, walking through the whole factory from a remote location. And then what we also did is we created a 6DOF experience. So in this experience they can meet each other in multiplayer, they can do training, they can take a customer through this experience on their own. And then we also shot a video. So I just want to get that video just to show you guys.
This is fascinating stuff. Gerald, what's
Yes.
the name of your company?
So the easiest way to find us is to go to virtual-reality.co.za, or
Okay,
mixedreality.co.za.
great stuff. Thank you very much.
So I just looking for that one video. Sorry. So here's that video of the same factory. So what we did is we offered them a 3D OF solution of which could be on the web, so people could go through the factory, and then a 360 video experience. So this would be this. So this is like a 360 video.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Trial Nutrition South Africa. This is our ISO 22000 accredited facility. The purpose of today's tour is...
So I'm just going to skip to different parts. So then this guy would take you through the factory. So with this lady, so they would take you step by step and tell you what's happening.
Going to be used in the process. One of the things that is critical as far as Nutreco and Trial Nutrition is concerned is our ensures that we have traceability.
The premix can be split into three groupings: the macro elements, the micro elements, and then.
So what was cool about this specific client is that they wanted to use this. They've been bought over by an international company, so they wanted to show clients what their factory looks like. Like I mentioned previously, it's dirty. There's a lot of dust. It's unsafe with the machines moving, and then it's also not. It's in a risky environment. So they basically, we took them, or we created this experience for them, and then we used this VR headset, the Oculus Go, and we took about 50 clients of them at a time. We put them all in the virtual reality headset. We synchronized the headset, so we started it at the same time, and then everyone could look and go through the factory. That was quite good. But the nice thing about this technology, what happened is that they didn't envisage that they're going to use this technology in their everyday business. And then about a month later, we contacted them, or they contacted us. They gave us a reference letter, and basically they say that now they use this technology every day as part of a sales tool. So when they go to farmers to show them this the product that they've got, they would put the farmer into the headset. The farmer will see that. He will be almost so overwhelmed by the technology, and he will have a lot of insight in this company, and then they would basically just buy the product. So that's how this specific one is using them on a daily, or benefiting this company on a daily basis. Then I'm going to jump to another thing that we've done. So this is like augmented reality. This was Dubai Trade Port. So this is basically, it's one of the economic free zones that they're developing in South Africa. This they're developing at the King Shaka International Airport. So if you look here, you will see there's like a big map. So what we did is we mapped this map in 3D and in augmented reality, so it became a marker. So then if you walk around this map, then you could basically see some of the things that pops up. I'm just going to play the video, but here is some of the ministers, the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal. We had the Minister of I think it's economics, Mr. Abraham Patel here, and then we also had the President, Cyril Ramaphosa, at another time. He actually came and he also had a look at what we've created here. So let me just play that quickly. So this was the official opening of the Dubai Trade Port. So for us it was nice to have so many important people at the same event and watching what we created. So then what we also did is we mapped that real map of the Dubai city, and then they also brought out this book. So this is the Durban Metropolis, and inside there was a map. So if you open the book and you open the augmented reality app and you look at the page, this information will pop over on that map, and suddenly it becomes interactive. So if you look at the different hotspots, it will open with information. We had some ships there, we had some birds there, just to get that feeling of this is a trade port, this is where stuff is happening. Aeroplanes for the King Shaka International Airport. There was trains moving over the place, there was trucks and all that sort of things as well. And then I'm just going to jump further. So in the same experience, without changing the marker, you could click on this button here, and you can say, okay, give me this experience on the same marker. So here we're giving more details on the project itself. So there's Dubai Trade Port, there's the Trade Zone, there's the Agricultural Zone. So the nice thing about this, it really brought this project to life. So someone, by just using their phone, they could quickly discover what is the key points of this this development. So then you could also select that you wanted to go to Dubai City on the same marker. So there we are seeing Dubai City, what they have already built there. So that building is already built. This one they're still building. And then the open spaces are where there's opportunity for companies to come. And then we also created a 360 virtual tour for them. So we'll go there just now. So this is the 360 virtual tour of the Dubai Trade Zone. So you could go in there and then you could actually walk through this whole area to see what infrastructure is already there and what does it look like, what they're trying to do here and stuff like that. So, and then I'm just jumping to this area. So there's Agri Zone. So again, we took the greenhouses, we modeled them, put some information overlays there, and then you also go onto the 360. Then you go into this this thing, and you can actually see what it looks like. So this is the airport, for instance. So we also 3D modeled we captured the whole airport, King Shaka International Airport, in 360 degrees view. And then the cool thing about this is we are also part of Google Street View photographers. So Google Street View photographers, let me see if I can show you quickly. So it's part of Google Maps. So you become a local guide for Google, and then you can contribute to Google. So if you go there, you can see, okay, so there is some of the photos that we have contributed. So here we already had 7 million views of these photos, and then you can see on a map where most of your contributions took place. So I'm just going to go in here. Let me see, or let me okay, I'm just going to do a Google search quickly. So I'm going to search for King Shaka International Airport, and then you've got the street view here. So if you click there, then you can see, okay, there's King Shaka International Airport, and then you can get street view photos, and then you can basically click on them, and then you will see I am the contributor for these photos. So now you can see our work basically here. So this is part of the whole solution that we actually offered them. So in the time that we uploaded this, the Kinshasa airport before the coronavirus, we had received about 500,000 views for this tour in about 3 months' time. This happened just before the coronavirus struck. And then we also do game development. So let me show you this, for instance. So this is a commercial game that we developed for Standard Bank. So basically what they wanted to do is, about 2 years ago, Standard Bank decided that they're going to close down 100 of their branches, and they wanted to show people how it will benefit them, and it's not really necessary to go into a bank. So let me play this for you as well, so you just can see that. This was at one of the activations we did for them. So again, this is the interior of the bank, and this is exactly the way that it actually looks like in the bank. So what we did, we used the 3D scanner, went into the bank, we scanned everything, and then we recreated it in 60OF. So when you're in this experience, everything looks real, and it's exactly the way that it's in the bank. So what happened there is, in the first part of the experience, people could go anywhere in the bank, they could teleport, they could pick up stuff, throw it around. They were the only ones in the bank. So that got boring very quickly, and that was the idea. So what do you want to do in a bank if you can have fun doing other things? So in this experience, we then created 3 games. So we created this one, which is bowling. So a person could go and bowl. Then they had to pay for the game. So when they paid for the game, their card gets declined, and then they first have to pick up the smartphone, transfer money from one account to the other account, and then they can try their card again, and then it will go through and they can play a full game of Templum bowling. And then also there was a cake baking game. So you could go and bake a cake, so you have to take all the ingredients, put them together, mix it, and so on. Next moment the electricity goes off. So what do? Go back to the bank, or you take your smartphone, just purchase electricity on the app. And the other one was that you go on holiday, and then your best friend basically asks you for money, and then you say, well, I can't, I'm on holiday. And they said, it doesn't matter, just download the app and then you can. So so we sort of, with virtual reality, we showed them exactly a scenario. They had to partake in that scenario, and then it would just click through this, having that experience. Oh, it's so easy to do it with a smartphone. So let me just play the rest of it. So here we made things just disappear just to get the game going for the activation side of things, but you could also make it so that people would have to take the stuff back to the kitchen sink and stuff like that. So there you take the cake. also want to show you another thing that we did. So this was more 3D OF technology. So this is a project that we did for KwaZulu-Natal tourism. So to make things a little bit more exciting, so this is 360-degree video. So to make it more exciting, we decided to add real life props to it. So the one activation was a zip lining. So you would actually sit in the zip line and then watch the 360 video. It will feel real. We had fans on the person and it will really feel like he's zip lining. And then we had some Zulu dancing. So our activation specialists, they would dress up in Zulu clothing, and basically in this Zulu dance they will teach someone how to do the dance and stuff like that. And then we also had surfing. So on the people would get onto a surfboard, a real surfboard with springs on it, and they will get that surfing experience. So let me play that for you. So we had a lot of fun with seeing people's reactions and stuff like that on this specific activation. And then also the nice thing is that this took us places. So we did this in this activation. We did that in Botswana. We did this in Bloemfontein. We did this in Margate. We did this in Mozambique. So it's a nice way of seeing different places as well. And then here's another cool project. So this one was for DSTV. So basically what they wanted us to do is create a karaoke experience for them. I think I've only got the gameplay in this video, but it was hilarious to see people that they come into this experience and they're really shy, and then they actually just start singing and enjoying the experience. So let me play that for you. So this was the Idols. And the nice thing about this, the crowd would actually react to the way that you are singing. So if you're singing with passion, they will start cheering you and stuff like that. And then we had a scoring system. So if someone sang very well, we could give them a 3, not so well a 2, maybe just 1 voting for them, or no one voting for them. So yeah, this was also a really cool thing that we did. And then this experience was also fun. This is basically where for La Liga we did a soccer activation for them. So this is just some footage from that experience. Also lots of fun, people enjoyed it. It's really interactive. And then we also did this one. This one was actually also very cool. So this is a company, ACCO. It's one of the biggest agricultural companies in the world. And what we did for them is they've got this box. It's called Farm in a Box. So it's a container. In the container you have a tractor, and you've got implements and trailers and spare parts and all that stuff. So what they do is they send this into Africa, and then a farmer can start farming with their help, sustainability. So they're trying to create food security and all that stuff by doing this. So we wanted to make this somewhat exciting, so we took a helicopter and it will bring the container towards you. And the nice thing about it, it's very overwhelming. So people will see this container coming towards them, and then they will start moving back, thinking that this container will drop on them. Then the container drops in front of them. it's sort of cinematic. So you're just participating in this stage, in this experience, but you've got the 6DOF feeling. So then the implement starts coming out, and it's introduced what is inside the box. So basically this thing introduces the tractor to you, the different implements and stuff like that. And from a company point of view, this was actually very affordable for them to do. When they have to take a tractor to, let's say, Nampo in the Free State province for that agriculture show, it cost them a lot of money just to move the tractor there. In some cases, it would cost them maybe 200,000 Rand per tractor to get it there, or one of the other implements. So with this, now suddenly they have this whole box that they can take anywhere they want to by just taking the virtual reality device with them. So this is inside the container. We made this bubble things. So a player would get a scenario, and then you had to walk to that ball, touch it to go to the next experience and the next experience, and so on. And this we activated in Germany at it was at the Grüne exhibition. It was at Messe Berlin, so it was just awesome. It's one of the biggest agricultural shows in the world, and we did this for 2 weeks. It was nice to show our the experience that we have developed in Germany, and then also it was nice because we could have a holiday in Germany as well. So that was just a side track. So I just want to show you this part as well. So we have a mixture of technology here. There's like a ball in that container, so we can take the real ball and he would pull it to his face, and then basically it will be a real 360-degree video playing there. So it will give them an idea of what it really looks like in reality. And then actually I have so much stuff that I want to show you guys. So let me show you this one, for example. This is another project that we're currently busy with. This is the Innovation Hub. So this is in Pretoria. So basically what we did here is a virtual tour. So you could go up in the sky. We did 360-degree footage up in the air, aerial footage, but we also did some video, so that's cool. Then you can see the trucks moving here. You get the feeling that it's live, it's happening. So what they wanted to show, we're still busy with this, but there's the CSIR, then we've got Engineering 4.0, we've got Future Africa, and then you could basically jump in the air from one spot to the other spot. You can go there and you could see, okay, let's say here's the Innovation Center, this is the Enterprise building, and then you could go down to ground level. You could go into this building and you could walk through this whole building. Then we also have these pop-ups, so this will tell you a little bit about the Innovation Hub. Then we've got a 360-degree video. We're still busy with this part, but here's some aerial footage, so you could basically look around this. And remember, this is all, it works on a web device, it works on a smartphone. You can take a virtual reality headset, put that on, and it works in there. So it's multi-device. You can do a lot of, you can distribute it to almost any type of device that we have. Okay, then we also took some images. So many times people think that virtual reality is just about 360 degrees of everything, but here's a way that we incorporate still images or traditional photographs or videos into a virtual reality experience. And then in the headset you will also see the photos, so it looks very nice. Here's some of the innovators at the Innovation Hub. So you've got Mark Shuttleworth, other companies and so on. So this application, what we've developed here, also have video conferencing built inside. So you could literally go there and you can start as meeting like we're having now, and almost like the same way as I'm displaying it now, it looks like this. So you could see the person's video, you can have a voice call with him, and then you can guide him. So I can decide where I want to go or what I want to show people, and then if we go there, everyone goes there. So it's a nice way of selling stuff. So let me just show you this one as well. So this is something we did for Ferrari. So basically they use this at the virtual reality exhibition. So there's the Ferrari car, it's the Ferrari Roma. So you can basically walk around the car and see what it looks like from different angles, and then you could actually go inside the car and you can look around, you can see the dashboard. If you wanted to hear what the car sounds like, you could click there, and then you could click on the dash and you get more information and stuff like that. And then you can also do stuff like open the doors in the boot, open everything, and then walk around the car, see what it looks like. You could zoom in, you could zoom out, you could close the menu and stuff like that. And then here's another awesome project that we're actually busy with at the moment. So this is Arb Systems. This is what their reception area looks like. So again, I can go to Metaport just to show you sort of how we did this. So on Metaport, this is the 3D scanner software. So that's how the actual building looks like. So there's the door that's going outside. The client didn't want this because it's sort of part of the corona measurements that they've got in place. Same with this thing. But if you look at the clocks and that thing there, television there, these things here, you will see that we did a good job of actually creating this in virtual reality. There's your clocks, there's the same thing. We removed some branding here. There's the staircase, that's the feature that they've got here. So that is in there. There's a TV, and then here's those weird looking lights. Okay, and then what we basically did here is now you can go and look at the vehicles. So you could go in here and then you could see these vehicles, what they look like. This is a 3D OF and a 6D OF experience. So then we could go into the ISAVE.
The ISAVE is the next generation of skid resistance measuring equipment. The Intelligent Safety Assessment Vehicle, ISAVE, provides a major advancement in measuring skid resistance and interrelated.
All this was 3D modeled, and then basically you could click on this, for instance.
The core of the ISAVE is the sideways force coefficient.
Just going to close there. You can look at to see how this works. So it's a nice tool that they're using to actually sell the vehicle to clients. So now they can pop into a government institution, into someone's office. They can show them this is the tools that we have available for road maintenance, measurement, all that sort of things. And they can take the trucks there. They don't need to have the trucks physically there.
To simulate rain on the road,
show you
the
how this
ISAVE aims
works.
to have a 0.5 millimeter thick and 80 millimeters wide water film on the road. The water flow is automatically turned on when the measurement wheel is lowered, and off when the wheel is raised. The water pump is regulated by a motor controller so that the pump will have the correct.
So I actually wanted to show you this
To obtain
one.
sideway force coefficient, force on the test wheel. The skid resistance parameters
one of my
derived from the
favorite
measurements
scenes.
are sideway force coefficient, which is the ratio of the sideways force to the vertical force. Sideway force ratio, which is the SFCX 100, effectively a percentage. Traction is also reported, which is the
So then you could also jump from one spot to the other. So we could go here, and all this works in VR. So I can go back to the reception, I can go back there, I can go and look at the iPave.
The Intelligent Pavement Assessment Vehicle utilizes This is
Then
insufficient.
with the conferencing software, it's a nice tool, so I can basically show people what I want to show them, and then I can also leave them so that they can explore on their own. So this is inside this this vehicle. I can basically
The Doppler lasers
there's another
are mounted
video that we
approximately 2
created.
degrees from the vertical plane, so that the
Let me go back here. Oh, sorry. And then also another nice tool is that we've got a boardroom here. So in the boardroom, we can now meet in virtual reality inside the space. So we can talk to our clients, show them around and stuff like that. But then this is also something that the client can manage. So on their side, we created a Google account. So now I can click on PDF documents, and then this screen opens. You can download PDF documents. You can go in, visit their website. You can book a meeting with them. You can download docs and sheets and slides, and there's a gallery and all that sort of stuff. And again, it's traditional 2D material, and it sits basically in a 3D environment. So yes, and then maybe lastly, I'm going to show you this game that we developed. So in virtual reality, fear is a big thing. So we created this thing to create a nice activation game. So dinosaurs are also big. This is on Mars. That is so this is a dinosaur experience. You go down a river, you see this big dinosaurs, and then you basically fall off a waterfall in the end. This is Mars Mines. So you are in a mine. This is where you have to walk on a plank. And this is basically where you zip line through Africa. So this was before the game was complete, but it gives you some idea of what it looked like. And then maybe lastly, we did something for Tour West. Here's just some reactions of people that had to walk off this experience. So this we did in the Oculus Quest. So basically people would stand at the, in front of the Zambezi River, and then on the left side there will be the Victoria Falls, and there would be a hippopotamus and a crocodile, and then some cars branded hearts, and I can't remember the other one. And then they use this to make people feel how it will feel to actually go on a holiday in Zimbabwe and experience some adventure tourism. So while that is playing, let me just get some. Just want to show you what it looked like. So that's how the game more or less looked. So this is old version. There's the real photo of the breach at Victoria Falls. That's how we created it. There's the Hertz car. There's the Europe car. That's images of the activation. Let me just see if I've got some better photos.
Come, walk alone. Go, two steps forward. Come. 2 steps. Yeah, another one. One, come, big one, nice. One more.
Yes, so this is the slightly better pictures. So that's how it looked in the end. So there's like the river, there's the car, there's one of the crocodiles coming towards you. That will say that direction is Vic Falls. That's the Zambezi River. That's the bridge. There's one of the crocodiles. So people experience it as if it were real. And they were screaming and they were moaning and what. So that's basically what I wanted to show you guys today. I think I had an hour and we have just basically, it's now an hour.
This is so impressive, Gerald. Thank you. It's a bit, I'm gobsmacked of what you can do. Thank you for sharing all the creative stuff you do and hopefully inspiring the students. Can we have a minute or two just for questions? I saw that somebody asked earlier on. Kitso, you asked something earlier on. Don't you want to ask?
Yes, can I quickly butt in and just ask a production question?
Yes.
That was fantastic. That was so interesting for me. And it's so interesting to see what you can do with it and how cutting edge it is, and big up to you for doing this for such a long time. It's fascinating. What I'm interested in from a production point of view, is it the same kind of process? Like, do we still have to, we'd hire that gear, it's just completely different gear. Is there anything from a production point of view that we would do differently? And the other thing that I couldn't understand looking at that camera with lenses everywhere is how do you not cross the line, or is crossing the line, is that what you're supposed to do? I mean, are you still working with a director and a focus? Well, obviously not a focus puller, but I mean, is it still the same process?
So I'm going to answer you this way. So I think that is one of our company's biggest shortfalls, is that we don't have that official training of how things are done. So I have no traditional experience with our professional set works. I have no experience on how our production is planned, the cost that goes around it and stuff like that. So we are actually just, someone have called me a cowboy programmer. So basically when a project comes up, we will have the idea, we will look at the idea, and then we will sort of figure out how we're going to do that. And it's actually interesting. So we are now busy with a project for Glencore Mines, and this project is happening in the DRC, and it's come through a traditional production house. So now suddenly they're asking us for a budget for this, and should there be a director, and what about lights, and are we having a sound engineer? And they're bringing this whole new, for me it's actually exciting to see how it should be done. And I think having that background is a big plus. For me it's a negative at the moment, but it's also nice because we just get things done. And then
But that's what we all do in this industry.
Yes.
Quite frankly, that's what we do, is we get things done.
Yes.
The biggest job description.
Yes. And then, so the cameras and stuff, you can now rent it, but at some stage the technology was so high end that you just couldn't get it. So that's why we created our own technology. Also BBC.
Yes.
So that's why we created this, because it wasn't there. And then one of the other things we did, which were also awesome, is for the BBC, we actually created this headset here in South Africa. So the BBC contacted us about, I think it was 5-6 years ago, and the equipment was just not there. And we were ranking international for virtual reality. They picked it up and they got us to do that. So I think the nice thing is that I think definitely the correct way is to have nowadays you can have a formal background in virtual reality or a formal background on how productions work, how sets work and stuff like that. And that's the thing we miss in our business. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you.
I have a question regarding your aerial footage. When you made it looks like a drone, but I'm not aware of any drones that have 360 cameras. How did you do that?
So again, it's something that we basically sort of developed. So the way that it mounts onto the drone, and then we also use the stabilizer. So um, yeah, I don't have a photo of that now, but it's a DJI drone, and then underneath we've got the stabilizer, and yeah, that's how that works. And then um, I'm just going to jump here quickly. So this is raw footage, so this hasn't been edited, but that's basically raw footage of some of the drone shots that we got. And this is actually at 8K, so that's quite, yeah, I would say impressive.
It's incredibly smooth
Yes.
and yeah, really great quality. Well done. Congratulations.
Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Gerald.
Okay, Kitsa, did you want to ask that question that you had earlier on?
Yeah, the question that I had was I wanted him, I'd like for you to elaborate on the difference between 3DOF and 6DOF. I want you to go deeper with regards to those two.
So I think just the easiest way to explain it is that um, with 3DOF, you are basically static, so you can't move like this. So you can't move forward, you can't move sideways and stuff like that. It's almost as if your head is stuck in a vice grip, but you can move left, you can look right, you can look up, you can look down, and you can turn around. But there's not motion inside the experience. So if this is a sphere, you cannot move that way into the sphere. As soon as you can do that, then it becomes 6DOF technology. So 6DOF technology, that's where you have the same as 3DOF. You can look up, down, left and right, but now you can move inside virtual reality. And then Google is working on a project, I forgot what's the name now, but it's basically they've got an array of cameras that's also in a dome. So the cameras is like set up like this, and then it basically spins. So it's called Google Light Fields. So in that area, you still have a sphere. It's still a 3DOF experience, but it sort of becomes 6DOF. So in the circle, when you move your head, you can move your head, and then it changes the images quickly. So it feels that you have that head movement. So in 3DOF technology, it's going to become 6DOF, and that's where we're going to have volumetric filming. So that's where you will record a video, but now you will have 6DOF movement inside that video. So let's say an actor is performing, we will capture them in different angles, and then you could actually walk around the movie scene and look at the actor from different angles. So I think that's very advanced technologies, but that's where we are going to go. So in my opinion, the technology to be in is 6DOF, but it encompasses everything. So you have traditional photos, traditional images, traditional graphics, you have 3D modeling, you have 360 video, you have traditional video, and it's basically bringing all that technology together. I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Guys, we need to call it a day. Used up a lot of Gerald's time now. Gerald, we really appreciate it. We really appreciate that you just accepted this invitation. You don't even know us, all by email. And yes, thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you to show this, that you showed the students that you can actually go and just by experimenting with equipment and giving it some time, you can create a business that has such a lot of clients, global clients. Because I'm sure you just had an interest in VR, and that's why why you went and experimented with it in '89. So yes, it's very inspirational as well.
I thought so too. Thank you so much. That was a incredible innovation. Very interesting.
And students, that is why you need the theory of all of these things. We always asked why they need the theory. The theory is just the how, that they can always go and work with the new technology quicker.
It's just a launch pad.
Yeah.
So I can maybe just give you an example where when we developed this rig, we did something for underwater rig, and when you put a camera underwater, you need to have a bubble lens, and we had a flat lens, so it was an expensive exercise. We wasted about maybe 90,000 rand before we figured out it's not going to work. So definitely. You want to do pioneering work, but if you have the formal education behind you, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, it is quicker, and as you said, it's cheaper.
And learn from anyone or other people's mistakes. Cool.
Well, thank you so much.
It was.
Have a great. Thanks, students.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.